But how will all of these overnight cues impact our own markets? We have our research team joining in with how the trade setup looks like, the stocks that you need to watch out for, and of course the FNO setup as well. First up, Vivek joins in to get all the market cues we need to watch out for. Vivek, good morning. 0.2 points away from 25,000, but the setup looks a little weak today.
Well, you're right. Missing it by a whisker is what we actually saw. Now, when you're talking about how the handover was, global markets very mixed, very flat handover, and all eyes will be on the Fed meet outcome. It starts today, tomorrow, end of day as far as US market is concerned is when the outcome will come. Oil price is something that we will keep track of, and oil prices actually have continued to slip further. And Brent yesterday was down over 1.6%. Indian markets, like you mentioned, missing the 25,000 mark. But actually, what's happened is that post that, all of the indices, especially the benchmark indices, the Nifty and Nifty Bank, saw quite a bit of selling pressure. And today it'll be important to see whether we try and attempt to scale the 25,000 peak once again. But it looks a little tough given the fact that GIFT Nifty as well as Asian market indicating a slightly muted start. What did well yesterday, the broader markets outperformed. The entire PSU pack did very well. Both banks as well as OMCs did very well. However, one tricky aspect was the fact that India VIX yesterday was up almost 7%. A lot of results reactions today, numbers that came in post-market hours yesterday, Colgate, Palmolive, HPCL, KEI Industries, Kalpataru. Today, what is it that we'll be watching in terms of results? Tata Consumer, IRCL, Indus Tower, Exide. Big block deal is expected, PNB Housing, and like we mentioned, a muted start is what we're anticipating today.
Muted start indeed, and it was because of that selling pressure we saw in a lot of these heavyweight constituents is what led the Nifty lower from those levels of 25,000. Over to Vamakshi now, who would list out the stocks you need to watch out for this morning. Vamakshi, good morning.
Well, good morning, Hormaz. A whole list of stocks in focus today. Let me first start off with ACC. In the first quarter, sales volume at 10.2 million tons came in higher than what we were expecting. Net profit, however, was down nearly 23% YOY. HPCL's revenue was flat, but the margins have contracted substantially from 4.2% as seen in the last quarter to 1.9%. Net profit resultantly is seeing a sharp fall of almost 88%. Colgate, on the other hand, reported an improvement in its margins to 34%. Net profit also came in higher by almost 33% at 364 crores. Jindal SAW reported a huge uptick in its margins from 13.8%. The margins have now risen to 17%. The net profit at 441 crores has also come in nearly 67% higher. Jindal Drilling reported a very strong set of numbers. Revenue is seeing an uptick of almost 82%, and the net profit has surged by almost 2.6 times on a YOY basis. Pfizer's, the margin has expanded from 20.9% to 31.5%, and the net profit has come in nearly 61% higher. PNB Housing will be in focus on the back of a block deal. Sources suggest that Carlyle Group Quality Investment Holdings PCC is likely to sell about 6.5% stake in the company via block deals, and the offer size is pegged at 1,255 crores. And lastly, let's watch out for ITD Cementation. The company has received an order worth 1,237 crores, and this is for construction of a residential colony in New Delhi.
Block deals are back after a bit of a lull. Vamakshi, thanks a lot for that update. And lastly, Sudarshan now joins in with cues from the FNO space. Sudarshan, good morning. What's the setup on the FNO side looking like?
Morning, Hamas. So what we saw yesterday, it looked like a pure algo setup near the 25,000 levels. But fall from the highs was severe, and at the end, we managed to close near flat line, or say at day's low. But what did FIs do? In the cash market, they were sellers, but in futures, especially in index futures, they continue to remain on the buy side. They have sold shares of nearly rupees 2,500 crore in the cash market, but it was offset by DIs, which bought shares of nearly rupees 6,000 crore. In futures, we saw FIs cutting long positions by nearly 5,000 contracts. At the same time, they have reduced short positions by 24,000 contracts as well. But interesting data is coming from the option side, where we saw major selling by FIs. In the index option, they have sold shares of nearly rupees 11,600 crore, and in stock options, shares worth rupees 1,200 crore were sold. At the same time, long exposure has moved higher, mainly because of FIs buying in the index futures. Long exposure now stands at 65%, with total long contracts at 1.50 lakhs. In the options, the data reflects major congestion in the range of 24,000 24,900 to 25,000. 25,000 call, we saw addition of 22 lakh shares with a premium at 57, and for 24,950 call, we saw addition of 7 lakh shares with a premium of 74. In the put side, major activities were seen in 24,950 and 24,900 strikes. So where are the support and resistance levels for Nifty now? Resistance is again, it remains around 25,000, and support is now moved higher to the level of 24,800, or can say to the near previous day's low. So what all stocks will be in the focus? We have India Cements in the band, and two stocks that I'll focus on. First one is Bandhan Bank and second is PNB. For Bandhan Bank, yesterday we saw delivery buying of almost 700 crore, which is 3 times of 1 month average. And for PNB, delivery buying was 650 crore, almost again 3 times of 1 month average.
Interesting updates there, Sudarshan. Thanks a lot for that.